Some things are built to last. Tested by the elements, proven by time, engineered for whatever comes next. Summertown Metals. Strength in every storm. Building dreams that last.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather at noon.
Well, good Thursday, everybody. Taylor Plott here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center with a check on your forecast. Obviously, our focus for now is going to be our strong storm risk coming in tomorrow afternoon and evening. Then beyond that, our next focus is going to be the very cold air moving in early next week. And yes, there still could be a few flurries out there in the mix for your Monday, but we have a lot to talk about. I'll break down that storm threat here very shortly. First off, let's start with our Arctic Air Skycam network. As we hit noon here on this Thursday, seeing abundant sunshine once again. There will be just a few clouds moving overhead today, but we're dry, and that dryness will continue throughout the remainder of the day today and for a good chunk of tomorrow. But once we get into tomorrow afternoon, that's when our storm risk will start to move on in. But right now, looking absolutely fantastic, and it is nice and warm today as well. Temperatures are already going to be in the 70s across the area this afternoon. We're already in the 60s. We're getting to the 70s, if I can actually speak correctly. All thanks to this high pressure that's building in from the north. And you would think this time of year, high pressure coming in from the north is going to bring some cooler air. Well, that's actually not the case with this one. We're sticking in the 70s today, even behind that cold front. But back over here, that is where our next storm system is starting to get its act together. That will be moving through tomorrow. Here are those temperatures. Actually, we already are in the 70s. Matter of fact, 70 in Florence right now, 67 in Waynesboro, 69 in Hohenwald, 71 in Athens, 69 over there in Huntsville. Everybody getting up into the lower 70s later on this afternoon. Some places will get into the mid 70s, around 74 or 75 today with a lot of sunshine. And again, just some high thin clouds moving in across the area. Here are those hometown forecast highs for today. 74 in Pulaski and Linville, 75 in Mount Pleasant, 73 in Collinwood, and 73 in Hohenwald. Across the state line, things look like this. 72 in Hazel Green and Meridianville, 74 in Huntsville, 75 in Decatur and Moulton, also 75 over there in Florence and Muscle Shoals. If you're heading to dinner this evening, you might not need that jacket early, but give it some time. Once we get to 8 p.m., you might need to put that jacket on, so we'll start to get down into the middle 50s by that part. Not expecting a chilly night tonight with our temperatures as warm as they are. We're only going to be dropping down to the upper 40s and lower 50s for lows tonight with a southerly wind still pumping in some of that warmer air into our area. The warm weather continues into tomorrow, even though we have increasing clouds and those showers and storms. We'll be getting up into the lower and middle 70s once again for your Friday afternoon. All right, quick look at the rain chances, then I'll break down our shower and storm chances for tomorrow. Our best chance is going to be with that system tomorrow. Some more scattered showers, maybe some storms possible Saturday. And then once we get into late Sunday, early Monday, maybe a chance at some isolated flurries moving on through with the cold air. Here's the latest Storm Prediction Center outlook for tomorrow. This was just updated about 30 minutes ago, so this is hot off the press. We do have that slight risk still across the area, but they have been nudging it further to the north with each update now, and I really do think that we are not dealing with much in the way of severe weather for tomorrow. I think the storms that do develop should mostly stay below severe limits, but there is a chance that we could see an isolated severe storm or two for your Friday afternoon and evening. If those do occur, our threats look like this. There is a chance at an isolated low-end tornado risk that can't be ruled out. There's just enough low-level shear that we have to watch for any storms that try to rotate down in the low levels. But our main focus is going to be the high wind and the hail potential. Could see some damaging gusts around 60 miles per hour and some hail up to quarter size. Not really looking at much the way of flooding. All right, let's break it down. First off, let's fly through today. All you're going to see is that temperature on the board and some of those high thin clouds moving on through. Well, let's start things off once we get into your Friday morning, 11 a.m., clouds increasing, winds increasing. You see the arrows really blowing across the area. Could see some gusts around 25 to 30 miles per hour during the day. That's just going to bring in more of that warm, moist air across our area. It won't be too unstable, though. We could have a few isolated showers possible by the time we hit midday. Our focus then starts to turn off to our northwest. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, starting to see maybe some storm activity develop. That continues into your evening hours, early evening, 5 p.m. here. Could be watching some of those isolated storms moving across the area. Some of those could be those strong or isolated severe ones. They continue into the mid-evening hours, 7 o'clock here, still continuing across the area. And then finally it starts to move off to the south. And I think by midnight tonight, or midnight going into your Saturday morning, by that point, we're really losing our strong and severe storm risk with everything shifting to the south and the instability just really not being there. Now, going into your Saturday morning, still seeing some clouds around, and we could see some isolated showers and storms pop up during the afternoon and evening, and those really should not be strong or severe. All right, let's look at your 7-day forecast and talk about that cold weather. Another front moves in Sunday. That's going to drop our temperatures down into the 50s. Can't rule out an isolated shower on your Sunday. I think a lot of places are dry. And then we get down to 28 degrees Sunday night to Monday morning. This is going to be our first widespread freeze across the area. And then some places will struggle to get out of the 30s on Monday. 41 for an average high across our area. Wind chills down into the 20s and 30s during the day. It's going to be breezy, and yes, there could be some isolated flurries, but we don't anticipate any accumulation, any impacts from those, or just see them fall from the sky, and once they hit the ground, they will melt. Now, beyond that, we will start to warm back up gradually. We're still cold to start things off Tuesday morning. Matter of fact, that's going to be the coldest morning of the week so far, with temperatures down into the lower and middle 20s. And then we're looking at abundant sunshine Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday afternoon. That's going to allow our temperatures to start to climb back up into the lower 60s by the time we hit Wednesday of next week. Obviously, with our storm risk coming in tomorrow, just stay weather aware. Again, we don't anticipate a huge severe weather risk with this, but it's just something we'll have to watch. It's conditional. If certain conditions are actually met for your Friday afternoon, we could have some strong storms moving on through, so just keep that in mind and stay with us here at the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. We'll keep you updated with the latest on that. That's what I got for you here at noon. Fred Gossage will be in at 5 p.m. We'll have another update on those storms coming through Friday, and he'll have another update on your 7-day forecast. Until then, I hope everybody has a fantastic Thursday afternoon.
You're watching the